some people can be quite unfortunate to not see some things, or see some things as red flags before getting married, and they start seeing these things when they've gotten married already. And some people can be very lucky to be able to pick these things up before saying I do. So we'll be addressing either of those things. And right on this call with us is the great lawyer and a pastor and a relationship and marriage counselor in our midst, that would be addressing this issue of domestic violence from all angles, the God angle, the legal side, the professional side, the every side you can call it. And he's also a married man, family man, so it's so great to have in our midst relationship and marriages. Yes, they'll be blessing us this evening, so please sit tight. If you have any questions along the way, you can do well to drop them in the question box, and at the same time, drop your comments if you have any.
Please. Relationship and marriages, please, can you send us a request? Please, can you send us a request so that we can add you? Please, can you send us a request so that we can add you, please?
Okay, so I was saying that anyone that has questions should drop the questions in the question box, and also do well to drop your comments in the comment section. We want this live to be as interactive as possible, and it can only be possible when you drop your comments. So would be kicking off now. We'll be kicking off now, and let's say a word of prayer as we commence.
I have to invite. Okay. I was meant to be the one to send the request, but I think I've sent it to you already. I've sent him a request. I just wait.
Okay.
I've sent him a request now. I believe you would have seen the request. So kindly accept as you receive it.
Okay. Our Father, we thank you for this meeting. Thank you because to everything there is a reason. Thank you because as we'll be discussing about domestic violence this evening, we are rest assured that lives will be touched in the name of Jesus. The right words for the right people, whether on this call or that will be listening to this call later, we pray that you meet everyone at the point. The word in season will be passed across to each one in Jesus' name. Anyone hurting in any way or the other, we pray for healing, total healing in the name of Jesus. And we pray, oh God, that godly marriages, healthy marriages would go forth in our midst in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name.
Good evening, sir. How you doing today?
Great. Hope you have had a great day.
Yeah. We thank God. It's been fantastic. And that's been your own day as well.
Fine. Great day so far.
How's your wife doing too?
She's fine. She's caught up in another meeting.
Good evening, everyone. As we said before, tonight we'll be dealing with handling domestic violence before and in marriage. I deliberately put it as before and in marriage so that we can address those people who in relationship must have seen some of these signs, before entering marriage, as well as those who are presently facing difficulties in their marriage as regards this domestic violence. And we're also going to be picking it from the angle of children, even children, because children too are going to be affected one way or the other, And statistics has already shown it that children are always recipients, even no matter how the parents decide to, package the whole situation and all that. children will still get to know. It's either it's beside their room or they're in the next house, or somehow, they get to, and there's always repercussion and consequences. So, over to you, sir. Handling domestic violence before and in marriage. So you can give us your opening remarks.
Okay. All right. So yeah, domestic violence is quite common. Not just common, so common that there is even legislation on it now. There's a law. There have been laws in different ways. So you have the Violence Against Vulnerable Persons. Let me look at that act. There is a Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and this act deals with people who are considered in the vulnerable category, usually women, children. And like I have had to explain in an interview in the past, if a person is vulnerable, they are vulnerable, whether they are a man or a woman. All right. So yeah, domestic violence is what it is, and you see the boundaries of what violence is continues to be stretched, because a lot of times what happens is that the law may not contemplate, a particular act as violent, but at the end of the day, when the law sees that society is evolving, for instance, cyber stalking, we now have laws against cyber stalking, So domestic violence itself can take a shape that is both covered by this kind of law and even cyber stalking. Because, I just came out of a meeting into this live. Somebody has been trying to cyber bully me for years.
Whoa.
Me. I just finished giving instructions now on that matter. Sending me unprintable things because for what, and I've just been keeping quiet, but he has now gone further than he should go. Like, he's been sending me, he picks every kind of, I don't know how he gets multiple numbers. He may just meet the person on the road, collect their phone and send me another. So I just keep getting, all his threats for doing nothing. So that's the kind of world in which we live, where things evolve and evolve and evolve. So domestic violence before would be people just, embracing relationships despite certain realities they can see. So what I would say is, especially for people before, any form of violence against you is a potential case of domestic violence, ultimately, any form. All right, so if somebody is verbally abusive, somebody is physically abusive. These stories are so common. For example, in the estate where I live, one of our security guys have been off for like 3 weeks because somebody in the estate hit him and a full-blown man lost 4 teeth. A man, family and children. And from my finding, it was not a fight. It was not like they were involved in a fist fight or something. They just had a disagreement, and this person feels privileged enough that this one is a security man. So the question I asked my wife was very simple. If you can do this to a man and he will lose 4, of his teeth, which English is correct, what do you do to your wife at home or your children? You must be a really rough person. So domestic violence can be forecasted before you get into marriage. And like I said, how do you forecast it? Any form of violence will lead to domestic violence, because what is domestic violence? Violence that has been domesticated, finished, that has been brought home. So this guy is not just fighting others in the street, or this lady is not just abusive to others. Once you see any form of abuse and you continue the relationship, you are the founder of that domestic violence. It's your fault that there's a case of domestic violence. Don't excuse it. Don't pretend about it. Don't act like. And if you're an adult, you are choosing a person who is violent in any way, whether emotionally or physically. It's not just going to be domestic violence on you. It's going to be domestic violence on your children.
Exactly.
And on everybody that comes around your home. So you might want to look at that. So singles must watch out. Are you violent in any way that can be undermining to, anybody's health, anybody's behavior, or anybody's well-being, as it were. So when you look at that, you get perspective on domestic violence.
Awesome. That's a very beautiful opening. While doing my research and everything, I came to realize that at the beginning stage, there's usually what they call idealization stage, which is the point where that person showers the supposed partner so much love and attention and all that. So to a very large extent, in some cases, especially if it's a form of, let's say, maybe covert narcissism in that sense, which are those kind of narcissists that they don't really show it. They have this very hidden kind of nature, and they just begin to release their threats little by little. Now, at that idealization stage, most of the time, people don't get to see the original intent of that person, because all the person is doing at that point in time is giving so much attention, showering love, buying gifts, and there's something they call love bombing, so more like you're just loading the person, you're just loading the partner, and after that point in time, because as a woman, for instance, so I'm deliberately using a woman for instance now, because most of the cases, or let me put it like this, most of the reported cases of domestic violence are usually from women. So if that's the case, such partner that was showing you love and he has used it to cover all the whatever what's the word I want to use now, whatever tendencies he has, for domestic violence or for abuse, he has used those love to cover it. And at the end of the day, you go ahead in the relationship, which finally leads to marriage. And then it was in the marriage you now saw the person's real color. What would you have said to that person? Would you have still said that there's a possibility that during the relationship, he still showed tendencies of abuse? That's number one. Then number two, is there a chance that the person did not show any sign before they got into the marriage?
Okay, you're asking me to say some of the hardest things I've had to say in life. In the process of counseling, we avoid telling people where they missed it, just to be kind. But nobody is in a bad marriage by mistake.
I agreed.
Nobody. All this, see, we can pamper people's emotion, and nobody's in a bad marriage by mistake. Because especially when you speak to a believer, there are two things you must engage: observation and discernment. See, the chances that you just rushed and refused to look, even road, ordinary road, main road, to save your life, they will tell you to look right and look left. So you have so many people who are not honest about these things. That's the truth. If we face it, see the tendencies, and it's usually the case. You are counseling people and they're telling you the truth. I saw these things. I saw one or two. If you are so shallow that somebody can use love bombing, gifts, and all of that to cover you, then you are too shallow. You deserve what you get. I mean, it's sad. It's sad to say these things, but it is what it is. You can't weep more than the bereaved or be more Catholic than the Pope. You can't. It's your life. Because you see, when you speak to singles, for instance, no matter how you shout, people that want to be stupid still want to be stupid. How many persons do you have joining this live right now? Go online and ask yourself how many nonsense people are following with vigor and strength. It's that simple. So people can't wind up with problems and think that we'll lose sleep. I cannot lose sleep over your stupidity. Yeah. That's why sometimes when I speak, people think maybe I'm too harsh. I will be, life itself is not fair. And people are very unfair to themselves. So you see, a lot of people come for counseling and they have no Christian history or no seriousness with God in their history. All of a sudden, they are joining NSPPD looking for sudden miracle. It doesn't work that way. I'm blaming God. I don't know what I did in life. You made a stupid choice. All right. So we live in an age where I cannot excuse people. I cannot go on social media. I'm not saying good content don't have following at all. Good content have some following. But go and see how bad content is followed. Go and see how people follow what will destroy them and are happily following it. So, but when they are done with all their mess, they now turn to us, messiahs, to come and clean up the mess of their choices. You know, some people send you messages, they don't want you to sleep. Night and day, come and answer. I can't answer you. I have to sleep. All right. So it's so important. And Helen says you should save this life. It's so important. Thank you, Helen, so much. It's so important for us to put it out there, so that number one, singles will know when you enter is going to be your choice. And how is it going to be your choice? Number one, you will choose the person on the assumption of what you believe makes them good. Number two, you have the responsibility to observe. What's observation? What your eye can see. Then number three, you have the opportunity to discern what your spirit can see. All right? If your eyes miss it, your spirit should not. You know? So I am sorry. Whatever marriage you enter is your fault. So for most people, you need to start there so that they even realize, first of all, don't put this blame on God. Don't put this blame on anything. Realize that you chose this marriage. That's where the solution begins. Because some people are so impatient with the solution. Because the solution will take time. It will take prayer. It will take patience. It will take a lot. It's not going to change overnight. He never slapped you, but he slapped a security man. He never spoke to you anyhow, but everybody that works under his office are afraid of him. You know, he's literal terror. It takes, and let me tell you the truth, God does not intend for stupid singles to get married. God intended for single people to shine their eyes. So it's not anybody's fault or God's fault if you make a bad choice. I can only sit, and there are many people I'm about to be in that place with. I can only sit as a kind-hearted child of God, console you, pray with you, do a restoration with you, keep you alive. If it's prayer, you will pray. That prayer you didn't pray, you will pray it now. Do you get what I mean? So it takes a foolish person not to observe. I mean,
I actually agree with you on this, because the signs are always there, and we tell them every time the signs are always there. The book titled "Attracting and Retaining the Right Man Made Easy." Do you know that some people, despite the fact that they are materials, they choose not to get those materials? Just as they have said, they choose not to get those materials, and they know that these materials are things that they will need. And this brings me to cases of, like, say, premarital counseling. You know, some people know that this premarital counseling thing is important. I had somebody reached out, I think a while ago, and they were asking, so they were making findings from us about our premarital counseling services and all that. So after a while, and I asked, okay, how about your church? Is it that your church does not run premarital counseling, or your babes church? He said, no, not necessarily that they need an external. I said, okay, that's fine. So by the time we told them everything and all that, do you know that till now we've still not heard from that couple? But if behavior. Exactly. But if it's photography, they will pay. If it's hall, they will pay. And the funniest thing is that all these things, their prices are like times 10 of the premarital counseling that will sustain the marriage. The wedding that is just for one day is not for you, it's for other people. Because they will be the ones to come and chop the rice. You will be the one to go and take the loan, to go and service all these people that are not hungry in their houses, you know, and all these things. And at the end of the day, you now come and complain that, oh, I never knew, I'm so sorry, or whatever. Oh, this marriage is tough, this marriage is hard. As you said, which I agree to, you are the cause of whatever has happened to you. And I'll use this opportunity to mention a 50% discount that we're doing at the moment throughout the month of October for our services and our materials. So if you need any of them, just go to Love and Emotions Hub. On our link in bio, you see there, the link is there. Just go. Any of our products and services, 50% discount just for this month of October. As we have said, the ball is in your court. If you're in a relationship at this time and you need help, reach out. If you are even in a marriage at this time and you need help, reach out. Premarital counseling, infidelity recovery, individual counseling, couple counseling, every form of counseling, reach out and we will be able to help you. As we said, it's only for this month of October. After October, we're going back to the original price. At this point in time, sir, I want you to mention some of the books you have and some of the services you render for those who are following.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have a couple of books on seller and Amazon. 9 of them. Are you sure you want me to start listing 9 books now?
No, you can just tell where to get it, how to get it, yes.
All right. Seller and seller.co. Seller is an ebook platform. Amazon has both ebooks and print copies. So you have Will You Marry Me? I mean, straightforward, simple book. Knowing God's Will for Marriage, particularly within the context of singles. Hubby and Wifey Checklist, questions you must answer before you say I do. Help, I'm in love, and a host of others. Seller and Amazon are the platforms we're on right now. So yeah, then for classes, we run 2 schools: School of Marriage for the married, School of Premarital class for the singles. Premarital class is bi-monthly. School of Marriage is a year thing, actually, because we figured that people like to get counseling that they won't use. So we have couples signed up that we are mentoring, as it were. So we meet monthly. Like this month's meeting is this weekend. So we meet monthly online. We have people from all over the world: Canada, US, UK, African countries, everywhere. So we meet monthly, and so we have 12 meetings for the year once signed up into the class. So when people sign up later on, they get recordings to the previous months for the months we record, because the way School of Marriage is quite intense. There are months we don't record because we want it vulnerable. It's on Zoom we meet. We want it vulnerable and open. So yeah, basically.
Lovely. So if you're on this call, you are hearing this, he has mentioned the books they have, and he has mentioned the services they render. If you want to help yourself, so that we don't come back and say, oh, I wish I had known. Oh, I wish. If you don't want that to be your story, please take advantage of all these books and materials and services. There was something you said while you were talking just now, that you noticed that some people just take some of these counseling services that they don't need, and you're giving them for free. Unfortunately, you're giving them for free. And this is the reason why we tell people that if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. That's the truth. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. Some of these IG lives and free IG lives that we do, we don't do them because we are jobless. No, we do them because we want to impact. And at the end of the day, you discover that the person you're even trying to help is really not ready to be helped. So you get them to that point where get this material with your money. Maybe at that point in time, you'll be able to reason well. And you'll be able to think that, okay, since I paid for this thing, I will pay attention to the value I'm getting from this thing. So please, also, if you're not following Love and Emotions Hub and Relationship and Marriages on Instagram, please do that now. As well on YouTube. Yes, I know Relationship and Marriages is on YouTube. Love and Emotions Hub too is on YouTube. We have loads of materials there that would bless you. And I know Relationship and Marriages too, you have loads of materials. I see them popping up every time. I saw one recently, the one where you people were powdering your face, and I'm like, wow, this must be fun. So guys, there are loads of resources out there. Please take advantage of them. Now, I have a question which I want us to pay attention to. You've already mentioned the characteristics of potential abusers that we'll see. Things like looking down on other people. And let me put it out there that even if this person does not look down on you in your relationship phase, in your honeymoon phase, because the person wants to get your allegiance. Once the person is begin to look down on junior people around him or her, the janitor, the gate man, all those people. Once the person begins to look down on all these people, that is already a signal to you that you must pay attention to. Don't let it slide. Don't forget what he said. Discernment, observation. You cannot do relationship and marriage right without observation. I'm telling you. You cannot choose right without observation. You cannot choose right without discernment. This is why you need the Spirit of God to help you. This is the role of the Holy Ghost. And this is why I tell people every time, it is easier for a believer to marry right than an unbeliever. Because we have what an unbeliever does not have, which is the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, discernment. Even when you want to get it wrong, the Holy Spirit will nudge you and tell you. And another thing that I need to mention again is having the right circle. Having the right circle. Having people that you can always bounce things off through. Like, I'm seeing this person. Oh, please help me observe this person. What do you think? Somebody that's gone ahead of you, like a mentor, a role model, people like that, a counselor. Please. It's not just for fefferity. Please. It's very important. Now, in cases of domestic violence, where domestic violence has already been existing, what are the steps that the victim can take at that point?
Okay. When it comes, this matter is a very complex matter. You see, complex because you want to see the context of the society. Our society, forget the law I just mentioned. Our society is very, very poor when it comes to the framework. You see, so the answer I will give somebody in the US will be different from the answer I'll give a person in Nigeria.
Agreed.
The answer I'll give somebody in the Western world generally, where there's a system, ready to deal with these matters, will be different from the answer I'll give a person in Nigeria. It's that sad. You see, because the legal framework for dealing with it is very poor here in Nigeria. Okay, so for the context of Nigeria, you might want to first of all ask, who does your partner defer to? All right, who does your partner defer to? And not just who does your partner defer to, who does your partner defer to that have the right perspective to life? Even a pastor's wife, not just another person. Her husband is founder of their ministry. This guy has been abusing her emotionally in every way and shape. In every way. The only person, like I am saying, that she could go to is the person he submits to a ministry. And the man's conclusion is that she's overreacting. He doesn't listen to father, mother, brother, sister. He definitely cannot listen to her own family. And his mentor and pastor in another church, whom he submits to, simply sees it that she's overreacting. One of the times I was speaking to her, she had left a message for the man for a couple of days. The man had not even replied. I guess the man has gotten tired of her. All right. So I mean, I don't want to go into describing how abusive I perceive the situation to be. She's not even in Abuja where I live. How handicapped am I for this one person who I'm even doing my best to respond to as a ministry? I mean, these are free counseling lines. What do? I leave Abuja and go and arrest him. To which police? The direction we are talking about, if you can't solve it, you see, as a believer and a minister, I will tell you there are two layers to it. There is a layer where it can be solved as a family matter, because we are not quick to throw people at the state system. But there's a point that even the state or the law does not permit you to keep it as a family matter. For instance, if somebody shot somebody dead in a house, no matter whether they are cousins or friends or brothers, the law doesn't understand that relationship. That's a crime. Or there are points where certain aspects of domestic violence crosses being a civil matter to a pure criminal case. Like the example I just gave. You know, if you batter a person, beat them, it's not family matter. That's the honest truth. You injure a person, it's not. You assault a person. Let me use the language of the law. That is not purely speaking a family matter. Of course, out of the desire to make things work, the desire to be careful, not to escalate every matter, you might treat some things, you know, still at the level of family and church, but that does not mean that the law cannot swing in on you. So in some cases, unfortunately, I must say, in this part of the world, even when it becomes escalatable, because you see, the covenant of life is stronger than the covenant of marriage.
Yeah.
You must be alive to be married.
Yeah.
All right? But like in this case, the honest truth is, I got to a point where I was concerned. What else do I advise this woman to do? You know, because I perceived at that point our case was escalatable. All right? But you see, some people do not even act like you should give them any advice in that direction. So some people don't even act that. You will be seen like Satan to some people. They just want you to somehow work a magic. I cannot work that magic. I'm not a magician. I can't change him. Only God can. I need to take, you know, God and the process of engaging the power of God, the will of God, to touch their will and to see if their will agrees with the nudgings of the Spirit. So, for God's sake, this is a pastor. This guy is so bold, so confident. So, if he mocks at her, like, that as in that he knows the number of girls interested to marry him before he like married her, and I mean, even if she leaves, like he's the popular one, his life is moving. You have a lineup of people better than her ready to marry him. I mean, you don't want to even get into the gist of the story, you see. So I would say, and to the single, using this to throw in an advice. Don't marry a person who doesn't have established authorities in their life. Not just established authorities who have a spirit that can be led. Because some people may show you established authorities, and once they are on their own, you know. So you need to see the example of authority in their life. I need to see, you know, that spirit in them, that they are not just temporarily submitting, but they have the, you know, the spirit that understand that life works in structure. So unfortunately, you might not be able to do a lot, because at the point of escalating it in Nigeria, if you go to the police, they will use money and solve your problem, or use influence, one call and solve your problem, and you're out, which is sad. You know, one call is enough, you're out. Just one call. They would even sit you down and start advising you. Now, when a police officer beats his wife, how do you want to come and report a domestic violence case? So what should the person do? Somebody that's already beaten his own wife. Or you sit with some people and you tell them about verbal abuse, and they can't relate, because they're also verbally abused. In fact, an average Nigerian police station is a verbal abuse center. So you want to go there and say the way your husband speaks to you is paining you. They'll just sit and have a good laugh.
Wow.
So the challenges are there. So at the end of the day, most times we counsel people to meet up with family, which is difficult, because just like I said, is he your elder brother who is struggling with his own marriage, or your cousin who beat his wife, or your mother who endured your father's beating? Who are you running to actually? Is the question. Who are you running to? So at the end of the day, in this part of the world, though, God to help you to just marry right first. God should just help you to marry right. And God should just help you and your spouse to have sense. The systems are not there. And let me just add, a lot of times you run into people like me who have little or no authority in your situation. Your husband does not know me or your wife does not know me, have never submitted to me, will never submit to me. Who am I? Some will even call me and say, I should please, can I call their husband? They know that. I say, under what arrangement? Like, who am I? How do I, where do I explain from that? Oh, my name is Ocholi Okutepa. I'm a minister of the gospel. Your wife called me that I'm beating her. Come here. Where do I start from? Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
it's in fact, as you were speaking, I remember a particular client I had. So when she was in Nigeria, her husband used to maltreat her, beat her, all these domestic violence things. She does it to her when she was in Nigeria. Now traveled. She used this man eye to see where an incident happened that he now raised his hand on her in the country where she is. He was because normally she would not report him, but her sister now became aware of the situation. The sister too was outside Nigeria, was aware of the situation, and decided to tell her that, okay, go to the hospital because she sustained injury due to whatever happened, the abuse her husband rendered on her. They went to the hospital. From the hospital, she wrote, because they questioned her, what happened and all that. She narrated the whole thing. They had to lock the husband up. The husband was locked up he was under custody for going to a year. After that, so the husband was saying something like, oh, he wants them to come back to Nigeria and all that. By the time I interfaced with the wife said, he said she doesn't trust to go back to that Nigeria because there's no system that would, protect her like they protected her when what happened in the country she is. I just decided not to mention the country, but it's quite sad, honestly. In fact, one of the questions I wrote was, what's the cost implication of reporting to the police or authorities? And I wrote, do they really take them serious? And you just answered that question.
I sympathize with your question, not even the people involved.
My God.
An average case you report to the police in Nigeria and let police people come and see this video. I'm ready for them.
Wow.
An average case, petition you take to the police, if they are going to see it through, if you don't spend, let's assume you don't spend 200, you spend normal, because the Nigerian police know that this is cheap. I'm telling you, the Nigerian police need to be mobilized to do everything they do. There's no fuel in their car, there's no ink in their pen, there's no paper to print. Every move to arrest the person, you will mobilize, you will pay, the police is funded by your petition. So when the person wants to petition the police, they want to track a number, you will pay for the track. Whether the government has the equipment or not, you will pay for everything. So you see, when people look at Nigerians and see that Nigerians cannot take steps, it's because you first of all have a problem. I'll give you an example, very straight example. We were robbed when we were in Benue State 11 years ago. Is it 11? 2012, 12 years ago. We were robbed. Armed robbers came to my house, gunpoint. Took my car. I had that car for just 6 months, right? Long story short, so it was in Benue. We went to the police. Now, how do you extort a man who was robbed last night? I was petitioning and funding the petition.
Wow.
I was the one robbed. I am the one robbed. I am spending money. You just believe I have money to spend. All right. So We left Benue. That we were even preparing to move to Abuja at the time. So we moved to Abuja. I did my little investigation. One of the phones stolen back in the day of BlackBerry. I began to chat the phone. I used a new profile, put a girl's picture. I was acting like a girl. So a boy chatted with me. Apparently, they are taking the phone to somebody to unlock, and the boy was using it. So I got SARS. I know Nigerians don't have good memory of SARS, but they have their use. So I reported to SARS in Abuja. Apparently, these boys would steal from different states, take the cars, especially cars that are clean, across the border, and sell it back to Cotonou, and wash the car and bring it back in a new identity. So of the 3 boys that came that night, we got through this system. But I spent every dime. Now I'm going somewhere with this story. The Nigeria, you know, where you have to fund everything. Apparently, the police in Benue had a system with these armed robbers. How do I know? We had 2 of them in custody in Abuja. They were asking me for money from SARS on how to go and pick up an Alhaji in Bauchi that they deliver the cars to, who sell them across the border. We were still in that negotiation of how much when they were set out for the trip. When Benue police came on their own accord that the case is a Benue case and took over the case from Abuja, took the boys away. I am the petitioner. Ordinarily, that should have been my bill.
Yeah.
Who got so interested? Who became so interested to fund a trip from Benue State to Abuja to take over the suspect in the name of the matter being a Benue matter? That was where my spending stopped. As far back as 2012, as at this time, I had spent over 300,000 naira or about on the police. So it was a complete waste. I had lost my car and other things they took from the house, phones and stuff. And I had also spent, for context, as at 2012, a pound to a naira should have been around 150. So that was spending, let's say, around 150 pounds or about. For context, in today's money in naira, that is almost 3 million naira. Following exchange rate, what I spent then, if you put it in today's money, that's like spending 3 million. And I got nothing back. I only got move on, forget it. Yep.
So if I get you right now, if there's a case of domestic violence right now in this country, Nigeria, are we saying that there's no justice for them?
There is justice. So go to people like NAPTIP. That one is even corrupt because I'm doing a case for somebody in NAPTIP. The person is just setting somebody else up. And NAPTIP is following. I must say that one. But there are some institutions other than the police that might, or you go to FIDA. FIDA is Federation of International something lawyers. It's women lawyers. So they answer female cases a lot. So, you know, you have to use those soft points of landing. So FIDA may be the one to go to the police and pursue your case. And then there's social welfare. Social welfare does not have the capacities of police. Everything is, they'll just call both parties, try to mediate, try to find a way. You know, they don't have that force, you know. So, or if you have some money, rather than waste on police, you get a lawyer, they go to the family court in Abuja, if you're in Abuja, for example, and press in some civil aspects of your case. But you see, all that belief that there's one mechanic police station that can help you. The policeman has not eaten good food. He's still looking for money to eat food. You are telling me your husband shouted at you. He shouted what? He cannot understand what you're saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, I cannot lie to you. You are making me talk about Nigeria. You're just suffering yourself because I will depress you. The system we face can make a man, you know, give up. I'm telling you, Or is it? Let me see. Just wait. This one is not good. Let me give you live updates in case. So my firm participated in 3 different courts today. Let me give you update from our court reporting of today. Of the 3 cases, now you have made me thought judiciary is small. Of the 3 cases were involved today in my office, none went on the merit, none. So if you are even saying sue somebody, so case number 1, John, the court did not sit because my lord went for a seminar this morning. Now you didn't tell us before court. Somebody went to court to realize the judge went for a seminar. And this is a high court, federal high court. This is not this is not just magistrate. The case has been adjourned off record to 23rd January 2025.
Whoa.
Hold on now, don't worry. Case number 2. Another lawyer reporting to me. The court did not sit. The matter has been adjourned off record to 11 December 2024. This is a short adjournment. This is a short adjournment. However, the Supreme Court gave me an 18-month adjournment.
In fact, when I heard all these 2 months, 3 months, I'm like, wow, that's fair. That's
and
fair.
The 18-month adjournment fell on a date that the court could not sit. That 18 months was 2 years ago. We still have not been heard on that matter at the apex court in Nigeria. So what are we talking about? 3rd case, don't worry. Just if you want me to depress you in Nigeria, I'll help you. The last one was adjourned to November 12th and 9th December, 2 dates given for that one case. Then the final one, 18th November. This 18th November is to just come and report settlement. So, all right.
Wow.
So
at this point,
just get it right. Just get it right. If not, you'll be getting pray about it in counseling. Just get it right.
Guys, see, at this point, I have to say this. If you're on this call and you are still single, you don't know what God has done for you. Are you all listening to me? Be you a male or a female, and you are still on this call, and you are still single, you don't know what God has done for you. You see, when they say single period is the time for preparation, if you didn't understand the meaning, I believe that what you have heard so far will help you to have an idea to what it is. I'm hearing some people say, yes, sir. Okay, so thank you that you have heard that. Please pay attention to who you marry. Hope you are hearing what we are saying. You can hear it from both a counselor, a Christian, a lawyer. He has given you his own personal experiences of what has happened to him in this country. Maybe if you go out of the shores of this country, maybe your story might be different. I don't know. But to help yourself, save yourself stress, please get it right. And how do you get it right? Get the right materials. Get the right knowledge. Get the right information. Pay attention to, as in, get close to God. Hold God like this. Get close to Him. Because it is through God you can discern right. You know, even after your flesh has told you that this is what you should do, the Spirit of God is going to nudge you in the right direction. So please, I want to beg you. And I will use this opportunity again to talk about the 50% discounts that we're doing for our products and services for this month of October. So you've been saying, oh, God help me, God help me, God help me. This is an opportunity that's come to you. Please take advantage of it. If you need any of our services or product, just go to Love and Emotions or on our link in bio. Click on the link in bio. You get all the services and product there for 50% discount. It ends on the 31st of October. Please, I don't want to hear, please, I'm sorry, I came late, something. You have heard everything. In fact, it's more like, I know I've been hearing some of these things, but, you know, it's becoming more real. In fact, I heard of a particular story, and honestly, a lot of people are traumatized. A lot of people are traumatized, honestly. People, I beg you, get it right. I beg. I beg, just get it right. Because there are lots of this matter now just made me remember another client too, that one too is married, and it's just been tough all the way. The husband just looks as if he's a coconut head. In fact, it's not like looks like, he's will not listen to anybody. And singles here again, don't marry somebody who does not have anybody he actively submits to. Somebody that when they say, come here today, the person will say, yes, sir. Let me ask this one more question before we go, because it looks like I'm already filled. Please, all of you, please drop in the comment section. How's it been for you so far? Please drop in the comment section. I want to see. Drop in the comment section. How's it been for you so far? I've been hearing a lot with my ears in this place. Okay, somebody say thank you, Jesus. Somebody say thank you. Somebody say really, thank you, Father. So somebody say when you marry wrong, it's like you've been sentenced to life imprisonment. Oh yes, oh yes. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So let me cap it up with this question. We've been talking about the abuse, the abused. So let's talk about the abuser now, as well as the children of the abuser. So the abuser, let's assume a situation where the abuser now wants help for some reason. The person has come to realize, because some of those abusers too, they suffer from mental breakdown, suffer from anxiety, because honestly, the propeller of abuse too is under duress. The only thing that is only the abused that is suffering. No, even the abuser too is suffering, because you need extra energy to download all these things. You need to be bitter, and it's the bitterness that you have that you are expending on somebody else. You know, so let's assume that as an abuser that wants to get better or wants to get loose from these issues. What can the person do? That's question one. Question two, the children that have been subjected to abuse as well, you know, maybe for some reason they were there when the father was molesting mother, you know, domestic abuse on the mother every time. And even if the child himself was molested, him or herself was molested by even the parent, because there are cases too where the parents too molest their children. So those two cases, what would be the way out for those two cases?
Okay, first things first, to the one abusing, the moment the person realizes that they are doing wrong, then a miracle is around the corner. Yeah, I don't want to be so civilized that I will not say the truth. There is none of these cases that a demon is not involved. Whether you call it childhood trauma, you call it mental health crisis, or mild madness, anything you want to call it. I'm too born again to give it just a scientific name and go to bed. Of course, demonic possessions can now create patterns that can affect the psychosis, psychology, or whatever. So there are two dimensions to getting help. The person must receive some spiritual help, what's called deliverance. And I'm not necessarily talking about something being dramatic, you know, go to and do 50 days, 100 days. You need to ask a spirit to live. There's a spirit. Like I was giving a personal example before now. Somebody has been sending me unprintable things for years. I've decided to ignore him. But I just come to my attention now that he's turned it to a petition to my church.
Oh.
This is laughable, completely laughable. I've been contacted. They don't even need a response from me because his message itself suggests that he's mad. So what I did was, you are not asking for a response from me. The people he is after, which because of my practice has made it on him unable to do what he intended to do, is what is hurting him. That's my own crime. Say I'm obstructing justice. He wants to go and do people without them being defended. And the people are innocent. He's actually mentally touched. Now, what I did was, I know you are not asking me for any response, but for formality, I will. You know what I did? I screenshot messages I had blocked. I gathered them just before I entered this live. I forwarded to the system. The first response I got is that this guy is under a demonic influence. You can't stand to read the messages he's sending to me. It takes a person who does not know how to see to not see that this person, you are not normal. I'm talking about messages without my response by any means. So that person needs deliverance. They need to have hands laid on them by a person filled with the Spirit of God and cast out a devil. Then they need to sit with a professional. Now, this professional too, please, should be a Christian one. I'm not saying people are not, their lawyers are not Christians. They can do your work well as a lawyer. But when it comes to issues of the soul, forget it. Or that's why some psychologists and therapists are just making you repeat customer. They'll use one or two strategies on you. Next year, they'll call you relapse. You are back.
I agree.
The earth is not equipped to handle demonic problems. They can only try.
Yes.
So, meet a professional that can guide you through changing your patterns. But if you reaccommodate that spirit, you would even shock your professional. Because one day your professional will talk to you anyhow, you beat up the professional. The spirit is bad. All right. So it's important to get help in those two ways. And even the Bible supports what I'm saying. The Bible says you know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. All right. So it's important you know that. Then for people who have been victims, check yourself into some help. Like I'm saying, you need the same kind of help an abuser, needs. Yeah. Because you have been exposed to rubbish. Your soul has captured some information that are wrong. All right. And there's also a place of self-deliverance. And where is that place? There are right teachings everywhere. Go and find them.
Go and find them.
Now, by the time you listen to people like Miles Moreau teach you, your brain will reset. Because eventually these devils are empowered by information. Yeah. Wrong information will lodge into you. Replace the information. All right. So get yourself some help. Of course, pray about it. Refuse some spirits from following you. Then replace the information that makes them follow you. Those two key things. So radically pick up materials. Learn marriage. My parents are separated when I was 8, divorced I was 10. I've had 4 mothers, like my mom and 3 others. So it's not all of us came from somewhere. Yeah. Our stories are not all good. Yeah. But your destiny is in your hand. And stop going around making excuses. It's because of where I'm from, because of what I saw happen. I have not divorced my own wife and I'm not planning to. Yeah. So it's important we put things in perspective. All right.
I love it. Thank you so much for this. For everyone following, I hope we have paid attention to all these things to tackle it both spiritually and professionally. And I tell people all the time that people like us, what we bring to the table is far beyond counseling. There's something that is called spirit-filled counseling. We bring it from the professional angle. We also bring it from the spiritual angle. So there's no way your life will not be better. There's no way. Because as we are tackling it professionally, we are tackling it from the other angle. So far you are submitted to it. So if you're on this call, you're not following relationship and marriages yet, please follow them right now. If you're not following us at Love and Emotions Hub, please follow right now. We have lots of materials on YouTube, also on Seller. If you need any of our materials, please go click on our link in bio at Love and Emotions Hub, and you get loads of those materials. Please get information. Knowledge is the difference between an illiterate and somebody who is literate. Knowledge is the difference. I'm sure it is that same knowledge that made you not repeat the pattern of your father. Exactly. That's what made that difference, So the fact that your parents were some type of way that you're not proud of does not mean that you too should replicate such. So please take advantage of all these things. And as I said before, in this month of October, we are on 50% offer for our products and services. So go to Love and Emotions Hub, go to our link in bio, click on there and get as many of those materials, marital counseling, every form of counseling you need, as well as materials. And also relationship and marriages have loads of materials, 9 books. So go to their link in bio, click in it and invest in yourself. I beg you, invest in yourself. If you have not picked anything from this IG live this evening, invest in yourself and don't make mistake of marrying wrong. I know we're taking your time. I want you to give us closing remarks at this point. Just closing remarks. I'll end there.
Closing remark.
Yeah.
Go and watch this video. Post it.
I love it. I love it.
Watch the video afresh. You need it.
Because there are some things you've not heard. You need to hear them again.
You've not heard it well. You need to hear it.
And don't forget you need to share it to people that you know need help. You know your friends, you know family members that you know they need help. Share it to them and let it bless them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ocholi, for this time. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. On behalf of my wife and I, and all of us at Love and Emotions Hub, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate your time, energy, what you said.
Your wife was so quiet tonight.
I think she was very tired. She was just very tired. So it's like she just needed she just needed that time out. Yes. Yes, it's been a very hectic day for her. So she just had to. I needed her to talk before, but she needed to just do something and attend to her son. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, Love and Emotions of relationships and marriages. Love you guys. See you next month. Bye. Good night. Okay, so if you're still on this call, don't forget our products and services. We have a 50% offer this month. It ends on the 31st of October 2024. Anything from November 1, we go back to our normal prices. So infidelity recovery, premarital counseling, individual counseling, couple counseling, all the form of counseling that you need, reach out to us. Just click on our link in bio at Love and Emotions Hub. If you're not following us on YouTube, follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have loads of materials that will bless you. And also on our link in bio on Instagram, just click on it. You get loads of our materials that will bless you. We hope you had a great time tonight. Please, if you did not pick anything from here, don't marry wrong. Do yourself that help of not marrying wrong. Please, do yourself that help of not marrying wrong. Get knowledge and please watch this video again. Ellen Light 123, thank you so much for all the comments you've been dropping. Thank you for being so active tonight. Yes, we love it. We love that energy, honestly. Yeah, some will just be giving native wisdom, exactly. And it's beyond native wisdom. It's beyond it. I believe you guys have really enjoyed this session tonight. I believe you really enjoyed the session tonight. So we do this every month. Next month in November 2, we're also going to be having an IG live. So just stay tuned on our page and you'll get loads of our materials. Just back to back. We hit you back to back. Please, I'm saying it once again. Don't marry wrong. Help yourself. God bless you. Have a great night. We see you at another.